Good morning, everybody. Auronnj here with another Honkai Star Rail video, and today I'm going to do my complete new player's guide to Honkai Star Rail. And look, if you're walking into this game for the first time when you're watching this video, welcome. This is a great game, but there's a lot going on. There are menus on top of menus on top of menus, and side quests, main quests, characters, light cones to level up, gear. I'm going to walk you through all of that as a brand new player and what I would do from account level or Trailblazer level 1 to 24, which is that like new player experience. Let me tell you how to get your account set up for success efficiently right here. I'm going to take that wide scope of this game and narrow it down for you for those first 24 account levels. And if you want to go off of that path at any point, feel free. It's a single player game. Let me walk you through what I would do. Let's go full screen. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do in this game is unlock your daily quests. This should absolutely be your #1 focus because these quests give account EXP, Trailblazer EXP, which is one of the main things you're going to be farming in this game, and they give premium currency, the Stellar Jade. You can get this every day, and on day 1, it takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to unlock it, so you don't want to miss that first day's, income of both of those things. Now, while you're doing that, you do have your initial cast of characters, including the physical main damage character, March 7th, Dan Hang. These guys are going to be with you the whole way. You pick up Asta pretty early, and you should be learning how these characters work, getting a feel for how combat works in this game. You can put some leveling material into like March 7th, Trailblazer MC, but don't worry about going crazy leveling up all these characters for that first 2.5-3 hours. Just play through the story, get to where you unlock your dailies, then sit back and take a breath because you've accomplished your first major goal in the game. Okay, now for your second major goal in the game, you're going to want to complete the 50 pulls on your beginner's warp. You will be picking up a lot of regular Star Rail passes, these things right here, as you play for that first 3 hours of the game. If you're missing some, check the shops you've gone by, check rewards from like, little Pom-Pom, the ear guy on the ship. Pom-Pom? Is his name actually Pom-Pom? It's late at night, I can't remember. He gives you some. They're out there. Pick them up and accomplish your first 50 pulls. Now, the beginner's banner is a version of the regular warp that's discounted. Instead of 10 tickets to do a 10 pull, it's 8 tickets. You want to do them all because you'll get 1 5-star guaranteed in that process, and you will fill out your 4-star roster a little bit more, and importantly, you will fill out your light cone roster a little bit more. This is also the point in the game where you need to start leveling up characters and leveling up light cones. You don't need to go crazy with investing in your characters yet, but feel free to dump everything you can into your premium character, your 5-star, especially if you only have 1. Now, I have 2, and I've been leveling Sealy and Japard as hard as I can. If I just had Japard, I promise you guys, I'd be doing just fine in this game, but I'm leveling them. I'm keeping them at my current cap. I'm leveling up their traces. Do it. Start leveling your characters. Also your 4-stars. I have kept Asta leveled up, Serval leveled up. I pulled Hook. I've been leveling Hook. I pulled Shusheng. I've been leveling her. You want a nice diverse roster of units that you're keeping at your level cap. And then, so you don't have to go too hard on your support roster at this point, like your 4-stars, but really start investing into your 5-stars and then keep the characters that you use at the level cap. Those extra stats they get will help a lot. Now, let's also talk about light cones a little bit. If we look at the light cones, you're going to pull a whole bunch of 3-star light cones. You'll also pull some 4-star light cones. And maybe you'll get insanely lucky like I did and actually hit a 5-star light cone too. Either way, at this point in the game, and let me get you a little bit better look at it. It looks better for light cones if you approach it from your inventory. So here's light cones. Now, I'm using some 3-stars. Some of the 3-star light cones are just fine to use. For example, my Serval is using a level 20 pass key, which will regenerate some energy for her. That's fine. You can start superimposing these. The TLDR here is this. Use your light cone leveling materials and level up the light cones that you're using with your team. These are a farmable resource, more on that here in a little bit, but level them up. Use the 3-star dupes to further power up your 3-star light cones. If you catch a 5-star or a 4-star, feel free to start leveling those up as well. Just get them to the level cap. Keep leveling them with your team. They offer a bunch of stats. You can see this one offers 184 HP, 83 attack, and 46 defense. That's almost as valuable as the rest of it, then they give good buffs. So just figure out what your roster is, give attack cards to your attack units, defense cards to your defense units. You don't need to worry about going too crazy here, but it is the time in the game when you need to be leveling up your light cones and leveling up your units. That's it. Do your 50 pulls, level the roster that you're using, level the light cones that you're using. Those experience materials are not that hard to come by in the early game. Okay, let's move on. Alright, your characters are leveled, your light cones are leveled, you've built some teams. It's time to start pushing the story again, so let's get back to it. Now, there's two ways to approach this. When I say story, I mean the Trailblaze missions. This is the main story in the game, and this is the thing that's going to be like your main mark of progression. But when you get to this quest right here, Cleanse the Darkness Outside, you must be account level 24, and just doing the main quest and just doing your dailies, you're not gonna be there. You're gonna be well behind. So you need to mix in these companion missions and these adventure missions as well. Now, some of the adventure missions involve unlocking, other content in the game. I'm not gonna spoil any of that, but you'll do those as they come. But some of them, especially these adventure missions, I find kind of boring. I'm very invested in the Trailblaze missions. This is the main story of the game. It's really good, so I'm into that. And then these companion missions are also really good, and it gets you to know your characters a little bit better. So here's my two options for doing this next part. Option one is just do everything when it comes up. You're gonna get these adventure missions all the time. You're gonna get like calls on your in-game cell phone and people are like, hey, I need help. If you want to, you can stop whatever you're doing and go do those adventure missions. That's just a fine way. That is a just fine way of playing this game. But for me, when I'm sitting at my computer playing for enjoyment, I want to just focus on the main story because that's what I pay attention to. And then like when I'm at work on my lunch break or in the bathroom or maybe watching the kid upstairs, not like I'd ever play video games while I'm watching my son, but maybe, just maybe, that's when I do these adventure missions, and I'm just clicking through them real quick. These, I don't know, the story on them is not great in my opinion. Some people might disagree. If you disagree, get a feel for it, but you definitely are going to want to pay attention to the Trailblaze missions. Also, these companion missions are very important, and you should do those as soon as you can, because it will unlock characters to be able to join you on the Astral Express. Let me show you. Star Rail map. Let's hit the train car here, the parlor car. If you go here, the characters, after you do that purple quest for them, will occasionally show up in here. If they do, like I've already done this one, but here's Auronnj. If I talk to him for the first time after he shows up, he gives me some stellar jade, gives me some premium currency. So you want to be able to start doing those straight away. That's worth doing. We'll look at the MC for a while and the beautiful outside space. So that's it, right? Like that's what you're going to want to do. You start pushing the story at this point. Trailblaze level 24 is the bottleneck, and it is on Cleanse the Darkness Outside. So what if you've been doing your quests? What if you've been doing your side quests, your companion missions, and you're not Trailblaze level 24? Let me tell you the other ways to earn Trailblaze experience that'll help you out. Alright, now my first tip on how to earn some bonus account EXP is get all the treasure chests on every map. Now this is both me giving you a tip and me telling you to go to a different website, but just literally Google search zone name treasure map. Like for example, you could Google search Great Mine Honkai Star Rail treasure map, and there are so many resources out there, so many guides that just take this map and put where the treasures are on it. As you're playing through this zone the first time, go get them. There's 11 treasure chests in this zone alone. Each one of those gives you account EXP and gives you stellar jade. You want all of that. So as you're playing through the story, get your treasure chests. You won't regret that at all. The second option I'm going to give you involves using your Trailblazer power to farm some materials that you will need anyway. Now, if you go up to your quests here and you're in the survival index, these calyxes golden are what I'm talking about. There are crimson calyxes as well, but for the first part, you're going to be focused more on Bud of Memories and Bud of Ether. These are quests that you can teleport right to them, and I'll go ahead and do it. You teleport to these calyxes, and you can fight mobs. You can challenge up to 6, and these give you character leveling experience. And if you do the other one I showed you, they give you I want to call them vision cards because y'all know my channel, Play More with Visions, but they give you light cone leveling experience, the weapon experience in this game. You need both of those a lot early on to keep your characters leveled up. Now, if you don't need those necessarily, there are other things you can farm, especially as you're getting closer to account level 24. These Crimson Calyxes with the Ascension material in them can also be a viable option. But either way, never let your energy, right? Never let your Trailblaze power be at 180 out of 180. It's just dumb. You get experience for doing these, account experience. You get 50 for every quest you clear. That means if you do a 6 clear, it's 300 Trailblaze experience. Take advantage of that. You're going to need it. For people, there's some like more whalier people out there who are already like Trailblazer level 50 plus on like day 3 of the game. The way they're getting there is by restoring their Trailblaze power with their Stellar Jades. Now, even they are saving their potions, and you should absolutely not use these in the early game. It might seem like a good idea. These become way more valuable in the late game, so a tip is don't use them, but do take advantage of this. It recharges like 1 every 6 minutes, so you have a lot every day. Farm materials in the Calyx Golden that you need to level your units or level your light cones, and then farm the Crimson if you need Ascension material to, you know, keep ascending your units. Now, the last thing I want to hit on before we wrap up this video is by the time you get to Trailblaze level 24, you will have unlocked Relics, the gear in this game. Personally, I've barely worried about this, except for just paying attention to what relics I'm putting on people, and in some cases I've just used auto add. But if you do find yourself needing a little bit of power from your relics to be fighting the content that you're fighting, you know, as you approach the end of the early game, here's what you can pay attention to without worrying about like leveling up and investing materials into this. You get a set called Knight's Set right here. It's a 3-star Knight set. You get this from Pom Pom on the spaceship, and this has a nice buff for your tank where it gives them a better shield. March 7th would like this. For me, Japard really likes this, so that's been good enough for him. And then for my other characters, I've given them pieces of gear where maybe I focused on the set bonuses a little bit because some of them are pretty good, but mostly I look for main stats that I like. Main stats are going to be the thing that increase as you level them up right now, and at this really early point in the game, I'm not focused on farming and leveling gear yet. Instead, I'm just giving my characters gear that at least I go for a 2-set bonus, and I focus on this main stat. Just make sure it's a good stat for my character, right? And that's enough stats if you're clever with your team building, if you understand the combat, I must be tired, to get to account level 24. So there's my new player's guide. As we push into the mid game, stuff like gear will start becoming more important, ascending materials becoming more important, but that's not this video. This is the new player's guide, and if you follow the steps that I just said, you'll still have all your Stellar Jades maybe, you'll still have all of your gear materials, you'll be ready to go into that mid game and have not overcommitted in any direction. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Peace.